So how do you feel about Memory Lane?
I like Memory Lane. I probably my I'm not if you go I guess if you were to think of top three tracks on the album, it's this um, New York State of Mind and Life's a Bitch. I really like Memory Lane. I think it's kind of like a mellow beat in some
Mm-hmm.
ways. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like a grimy beat or nothing like that, but it's just mellow. Like once you said earlier, it was a primo beat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, no, yeah, Memory Lane is like no, I really like this song. Yeah, I'm like I said, I can't go off the top of the head with lyrics like you do, but like even how it opens, I rap for listeners, blunt heads, fly ladies and prisoners, Hennessy holders and old school niggas. Then I be dissing the unofficial. Like,
Old Uli Tai, the rapper Old Cooley High, gas. Like that shit was
yeah,
like one for the money, two for a pussy, and four in cars, three for Alizé niggas to see some behind bars. I rock the Vanguard. Like like the way that he was spitting. It was he was
mm-hmm.
the dope part about Nas, and I think Nas kind of went away from this, but like the dope part about Nas was his effortless rapping
Yeah,
to be dope. Like, no sign of the beast and the blue Chrysler. I guess that means peace for niggas on shiesty rights to just snipe you. It was just like he was just saying shit that was just like, wait a minute, hold on. Let me like it was a lot of rewind moments, especially on this song for me. But this is my favorite I mean, to be transparent, this is my favorite song on the album. But
okay,
hearing the way that he raps over it, it was
yeah,
smooth. It was consistent. It wasn't fluff. It was just a dope ass track to hear him. And then it was Primo. Like, and honestly, if you listen to Primo back then, this, in my opinion, wasn't like a
it wasn't like a
boom
stand
bap
beat.
Primo track. This was just
Yeah,
like you know, even with the sample, it wasn't as if Primo like cut it up so much that you couldn't tell where the sample was from. This was just like Primo just letting the track ride and then just adding his drums. Not to say that it wasn't produced or anything like overly produced, but he killed this track as far as production, and Nas
yeah,
like rapped over it flawlessly.
yeah.
Um,
When you had said at the top of this podcast, this episode, that Primo had done this, I had to look it up because I didn't remember that Primo had done this. Because like I said, it's not when you think about like all them classic BCK, the group home.
mm-hmm,
None of them sound like this. But
mm-hmm,
like you think about game, like you said, there's a primo sound that you have in your head.
mm-hmm.
Like this wasn't,
That's not it, but
yeah,
it's
it's not,
dope.
but it was dope. Yeah, it wasn't like it's not his, but it's not a bad thing to say. It's just like you wouldn't have thought that. Like if you would probably ask people like for like their what some of the best primo beats they liked or best songs that primo produced, like
Mm-hmm.
even if you like Memory Lane, like it, like I said, like I really like Memory Lane, but I didn't even recall or remember that it had been produced by Primo till you said it. And I was like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Probably explains like why I like it. And I think under that, like Primo did this and New York State of Mind, like two of the best songs on the album to me. Then Life's a Bitch with LES, but like um but you think about like the way he was flowing on New
Mm-hmm.
York State of Mind, he was doing the same thing on Memory Lane. I don't think he really did that on any of these other songs.
Just being effortless, like
Yeah,
just killing
exactly.
it. Like it
Yeah,
would, it really felt like the marriage between them two would have been a lot greater as far as the marriage to the beat and to the
yeah.
lyrics. You know, um,
Crazy. We're gonna see it this year. Go ahead though. Keep going.
that shit ain't gonna happen.
Keep going.
We'll see. Hey, look, hey,
When
I'm
it
a, I'm
happens,
a, I'm an optimist.
podcast
I'm an
and blow.
optimistic ass nigga. Like, so I hope that it will happen, but
Yeah,
I just don't, man.
we got 7 months.
Yeah,
I predict
I
it
should have
happen.
asked you to look up the AZ collaboration album because AZ don't even know when that's gonna happen. I saw
Oh,
that on
that
Drink Champs.
happened. That ain't happening. But the Nas and Primo joint is. Uh, yeah, Google ain't giving me nothing about that. It's just telling me about the song.
So let me ask this question. How do you feel about so moving to track 7, One Love produced by Q-Tip? How do you feel about that track?
And that was great. Like I know people love "The World Is Yours" and "One Love."
I feel
I
the same
like
about both of them, honestly. Like, but
yeah.
I'll let you go. Go ahead and say what you gotta say.
I mean, I understand why people like them. I do, and even One Love, like on the re-listen, like I said, the things he was spitting on them, but it's like, man, it's the like if I were to make an argument for like this not being a 5 mic album, it honestly would be like these aren't bad songs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they, I don't know if this album thing. If you take away the impact, and it had the impact, like I think the impact of it, of what it had on like New York hip hop and all of that, and
Mm-hmm.
like even like introducing Nas to us, like it's dang. I mean,
Listen, I feel you. So
I mean,
I'll say this, and I don't want to stop you from where you're going, but I look at it like this: when I'm listening to this album, I skip "The World Is Yours," I skip "Halftime," I skip "One Love," I skip "One Time for Your Mind," and I'll listen to "Represent,"
yeah, I ain't
and
gonna
then
hold
I may listen to "It Ain't Hard to Tell."
you.
But the ones I hit every time I listen to this album is New York State of Mind, Life's a Bitch, Memory Lane. Um, yeah, I hit those all the time. I mean, that's not to say that the quality of the songs aren't that great, but the ones that I never like, I always listen to are those three songs.
Yeah,
Um, but
yeah,
yeah,
I don't know that I call it the 5 mic album.
mm-hmm,
If I'm just talking about, it's my personal preference, and how I feel about it, and like the songs that like because I'm with you. I'm with you. I go New York State of Mind, Life's a Bit. I know it's a short album, and I'll go Memory Lane.
mm-hmm,
That's 33% of the album. That leaves 67% that I'm not really. And I mean, to get to Represent, I gotta go through One Love and One Time for Your Mind.
mm-hmm,
Like, if I were to just say, let me put like, I mean, depending on how I feel, I could like say I was doing like a playlist of Nas, like
mm-hmm,
uh, just joints that I rock with, and I was going
mm-hmm,
album by album. It would definitely be New York State of Mind, Life's a Bitch, and Memory Lane.
mm-hmm,
Um, man, depending on my mood, Represent may or may not make the cut. The rest
mm-hmm,
of them getting on there though,
mm-hmm.
and it's not like if I put the world is yours and One Love on there, it's because it's the peer pressure and 19, 20 year old Eddie, where it's like dang, like I ain't real hip hop. If I don't rock with One Love or the world is
Man,
yours,
fuck that real hip
yeah,
hop
that's what
shit,
I'm
man.
saying.
Like, hey, hold on one second. I gotta go pee. Hold on one second. What up, man? My bad. Yeah, nigga. And I was gonna stop because I know we definitely over time, and my bad. But I was like, we only got like 3 more songs to cover and shit. But
Yeah,
nigga, like I was hearing answer. I was like, nigga, I got a nigga like nigga. That's why I went to the doctor earlier today for the motherfucking urology and shit, like with motherfucking peeing and shit. But
man.
nigga, like nigga, that shit, like that shit had came to a
You
motherfucking
like, I
head.
got
Like
oh
you gotta pee, nigga. Like, and I was like sitting up here shaky foot and shit. I was
yeah. I
like,
ain't gonna be
shit.
able to make it through these next three.
Yeah, nigga, look, and that's what I was like, well, shit. I contemplated. I was like, yeah, we on one love. Like
Yeah, I noticed when go off on 2 minutes on now. I mean, what you know, we can wrap it up because I had sent you a text saying like you're on the next song. I think that was like around Memory Lane, like because I thought my MacBook was getting ready to die, but then I remember,
okay.
oh shit, I ain't on my MacBook. It don't matter.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I just saw your text shit.
No, you cool because but as I look, I was like, man, you on your iPad, you ain't on your MacBook. It don't matter. That shit can die.
Mm-hmm.
So my little light went out, but that's cool. I don't care about that part. But
I was over here. I was like, nigga, and like I said, I've been drinking tequila and shit like today and shit. I'm like, And I felt like this is a good pod to like drink on and shit. Like, I mean, just like, cause I like talking about albums, man. Like, and I always try to find about. I don't want to take up too much of your time and shit, but I feel like we got a great. I mean, I like talking about things that's going on in life in general too, but like when we talk about albums, I feel like we've had like these discussions, but I don't feel like we fully went into like the Illmatics and stuff like that. People. I feel like sometimes like people have opinions on albums, but they won't like I could say Illmatic's not a five mic album,
Right.
and then niggas be like, well, why don't you feel like it's a five mic album? I feel like I don't ever get to justify why I don't think that it's a
Why you
five
say
mic album or it's a 4.5 and da da da. I feel like I just literally just kind of give my opinion and it gets a little bit more in depth. People could be biased for whatever reason, but I feel like a lot of the biases on this album in general is based off of, you know, um, the source rate.
Nas. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it's like, nah, give your actual opinion of the album, and like I said, we ain't gotta agree. I mean, you could be like, I like this album, or I mean, even because that's like sometimes people get lost in the whole idea of 4.5 album, like 4.5 album. I remember back in the day, like shit, nigga, if an album got 3.5, I was buying it.
Yeah, to me, 3.5. To me, 3.5 is the baseline to cop an album. Like
Mm-hmm.
it to me, it's saying it's a pretty good album.
Mm-hmm.
A 3, it might get a little bit shaky. Like, okay, I'm not a fan of this artist.
Yeah.
Like 2.5, like we might be getting the trash category. If you get to me, if you get 4.5, and I guess not thinking about what the source does, but in my mind, if I give an album 4.5 mics,
Mm-hmm.
that's damn near classic. That's probably me. Like I think, and I'm starting to feel this way when we're looking at Illmatic, but like I think for me, one of the examples is Jay's Volume 1.
Mm-hmm.
You'll probably get me to say that's a 3.5 between a 4 mic album, and I'm gonna say it because I think the songs that are dope as fuck.
Yeah.
Now, songs that are weak, they're weak as fuck. But when
Mm-hmm.
you talk about the strong songs, you talk about like the intro.
Mm-hmm.
I like City is Mine. I won't say that like it's strong as fuck though. So I'll say the intro, Imaginary Players,
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm From, Streets is Watching, and I'm not mad at Friend of Foe, but like I said, I just go through.
We understood the missteps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's like for 3.5, there's certain missteps that are there, and it could be 50-50. Like you said, like, and that was just the beauty of listening to music back in the day. It was just like a 3.5, like I said, and that's where the integrity of the source kind of got thrown out the window. I mean, I remember, and transitioning from the source to double XL, like shit, I could damn near pinpoint it, and it wasn't necessarily because I remember you bought all publications, but and I bought most of them. I bought Rap Pages. I bought
remember Rap. Are we on the podcast now? We recorded. Are we?
No, let me. I started recording, but I can edit this out. We just talking this shit.
Oh no, okay, no, I didn't, because I ain't know where to go. But do you remember?
So we go to the podcast. Let's start where you say what are you talking about? You're talking about the One Love, and as far as the tracks that
because I was saying that One Love kind of made you like talking about if I do a Nas playlist, basically like One Love is. One love, and what's the other joint? The World Is Yours. They make the cut because the young Eddie says, "Oh man, those is like if you a hip hop head, you a diehard fan. Oh, these joints gotta be in your
collect.
Yeah,
in your what you listening to.
Yeah, like these would be back when I was like in like high school and college. I would make little tapes for people sometimes if they'd ask. Like, and if you were like, I'm thinking about like back in high school, like Broderick. I don't know if you remember Broderick, but I'm gonna make tapes with Broderick a couple times. Corey, a couple people. Like,
Yeah, Broderick worked for fucking Converse and shit. I would like that nigga
do.
to give me a job, nigga, like,
Yeah.
because Converse is associated to Nike and shit.
Nike, yep. But
That
this
nigga's
would
been
have
working for them for a long time too. Random conversation, but yeah,
he does. Yeah, he worked with SGA. Like I remember reading a Kicks magazine that might have been. I might have said mentioned it to you, but it was like
tell them get you a job, man. Then you get me a job and shit.
Don't think
I ain't sucking your dick and
cool.
shit though.
Huh? Don't think if it was Rico, I might have a shot.
No, nigga, like you making tapes for this nigga. Tell him to get you a job, nigga. It's fucking Nike, nigga.
Be like, hey, bro, remember them tapes I made for you in senior year? Hey, you owe me a job, homie.
Yeah, I want it, nigga. Yeah.
What's you do? Say no. Hey, remember, I ain't charging for those tapes, brother.
Yeah. Call in your favors.
Call it there. Be like, hey, you didn't know it at that time, but that was a favor, homie.
Yeah, nigga. That's funny. Yo, your ass was back then talking about like, I made these tapes for you. So 30 years later,
I'm collecting, homie.
I'm gonna call in this favor. You may not know what it's going to be for, but just know when I make that call, be ready for it.
You gotta say yes, partner. Homie, ain't no refusing. Yeah, but no, if I would have made tapes when I was making those tapes, these would have been two songs I would have thrown on, even though I wasn't like they were like, but I would have still thrown on like Memory Lane, like and probably
definitely went through halftime on that bitch. Like, and that's the thing, but that's the bottom line. Like what you're saying, right? Like you look at this list of the song, or you look at the track listing of this album. Like if there were songs that I would not throw on there, it would be Halftime and Represent, or not Represent, but One Time.
Time for Your Mind.
Yeah, it's just like those. They just weren't. Not to say they weren't good songs because the lyrics was there, but they just weren't. They were throwawayable tracks, as far as like because I still feel like if I listen to It Was Written, I'm not going to include Suspect Niggas or because I hated that fucking song, man. It was like in Black Girl Lost.
Black Girl Lost has grown on me over the years, over the past 20 years.
Man, fuck that nigga JoJo, nigga.
JoJo.
Why can y'all get KC, nigga? Why can y'all get the two brothers and shit? Why can you only get one nigga?
KC was probably in rehab at that time. Him and Mary were probably doing a stint in rehab trying to repair their marriage.
Nigga, this is the only song I've ever seen just JoJo by himself and shit.
Man, why you hating on JoJo, dog?
Nobody care for JoJo. I mean, them niggas like, look, where was Devontae in this? Like, what was Dalvin? Like, what the fuck? Like, why can't y'all get like the whole crew? But if you ain't gonna get the whole crew, at least get your brother, nigga. Like, don't get motherfucking JoJo. You know what I'm saying?
KC was somewhere in rehab, man.
That nigga could have sung for
either that or he Nas blew the buzzing on getting Dre on affirmative action.
What's up, Nas?
He was at first because this thing he was like, Casey and JoJo, y'all come out, y'all do this joint for me and everything. And they was like, yeah, bet. And then Dre came in like a few hours later.
Took all the budget.
He was like, what up, Nas? And he was like, oh, okay. He's like, how much is that, Dre? Dre was like, hey, that was about a good like $250,000.
Dre had to be cheap at that point in time, though. That was when he got kicked out of death. Well, he wasn't on death row no more, man.
He was still Dre though. So yeah, $250 and it would have been $500 if he was death row. But then
that was what was that shit? What was the shit? What was the Aftermath Presents?
Yeah, Aftermath Presents.
Yeah, that shit wasn't popping.
Nah, so that's what happened. Then he had to place that call back to KC and JoJo. Be like, hey man, hey, I can only get one of y'all now. Like,
no, but look, Dre did the shit. Dre exchanged shit for Nas to get the motherfucking firm and shit. So I feel like those are friendly.
Dre,
giving deals, whatever. He's like, okay, well, you do the Aftermath. You get the motherfucking Foxy Brown, AZ, Not even Cormega, because Cormega goddamn. Oh, we didn't even mention that though. But Cormega, like on what's up with Cormega? You see him and y'all together on One Love and shit. But and that made us look for Cormega and shit.
Yeah.
But all that being said, I feel like the favor was for them niggas signing Aftermath or signing to Aftermath for the firm shit.
Nah, I mean I hear you, but nah, that wasn't like Ray felt like he was more than that, so he charged a little bit more than Nonstop. You know, he was gonna charge, and then he tried to get Dre to just agree to say like, "Hey man, how much if you just say Nas?" And he was like, "Nah." He's like, he was like,
"So Nas
part." He was like, "I already did the
get
what
through
up."
this sticky shit right here.
Yeah, he was like, "You didn't charge for it," so he had to put that call in to KC and JoJo. And at first he was like. At first, he made the call to KC on his own. He was like, "Yo, KC, I don't think I'm gonna be able to like get you and JoJo." He was like, "Hey, how much just to get you?" And KC was like, "Yeah, it'll probably be about like 50 racks." And
Nas was like, "Well, hey, can you do it for 25,000?" And KC was like, "No."
He was like, "But JoJo can." That's how you end up with JoJo.
Oh shoot!
That's it.
Nas was like, "Yeah, I guess you want 100K." He was like, "Yeah."
Yep. Nas was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Can Devontae sing?" He's like, "No."
No, that nigga be on the drums.
Yeah. He was like, "All right, man, I'll take JoJo." And then he's like, "Don't tell JoJo that I called you." So then he called JoJo and was like, "Hey JoJo, man, I ain't gonna be able to get you on KC, man, but I really want you, man. I'll give you."
Should have came as a group, man. Like
I
hate that song. Like I literally, you know what? I take that. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go back and re-listen to that song. I feel like the Black Girl Lost is number 10, and I feel like Suspect Niggas is number 11. Is number 9. So then I feel like
maybe it is 10.
I feel like what's the name was number 10. QB since '93. What's the name of that shit with Foxy Brown started talking at the end of it? Oh no, it might be Lil Kim. One of them hoes is talking. I can't remember.
It might have been, cause
but I feel like it's definitely number 10 because I feel like I know Suspect Niggas is number 11 because I hated them 2 songs in a row.
Yeah, it's number 10.
Yeah, because I remember hating them 2 songs in a row. Like Suspect Niggas, like I loathe it. Yeah. Suspect Niggas don't come outside. Like that shit was so terrible to me.
It was.
Yeah.
Shootouts
number 12. I remember that shit vividly. Like that because that was my shit.
Yeah. Followed by Live Nigga Rap.
Yeah, Live Nigga Rap with the Mob Deep niggas, man. I love that shit. Yeah. Doom. Yeah, that was my shit. But yeah, so which track we talking about? We talking about One Time? Did we talk about One Time or was we still on One Love? I think we got to One Time. But I don't really think it wasn't even too many lyrics on that track that what did you say? I remember you said something about rooting for the I watch a flick and I'm rooting for the villain and shit. I was like, oh, that's that was kind of cool, but other than that, I ain't like that song.
Yeah, no, I ain't. Yeah, I'm looking at it now, kind of scrolling through the lyrics.
Large Professor produced that shit.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Yeah, the Large Professor didn't have like a strong showing on this album
at all. And I was reading somewhere it was saying how Nas begged Large Professor to executive produce this album, and I'm glad that he didn't.
That's the thing. Nas in Questionable Taste. That's how you end up with JoJo on Black Girl Lost and not KC. He thought JoJo was
of all the niggas. Like,
yeah,
nigga, you could have got fucking Donnell Jones at that point. Nigga, like, that shit would have worked better. Like I said, it wasn't a bad song, but it was like I know people that like it. I always tell people this, like, if I don't like it, don't mean that that's the end all be all. If you like it, it works for you, then that's cool. But I didn't like that shit.
Yeah.
But I didn't like LES produce. Like LES worked out on this album. I feel like LES for this album, Nas told him like, okay, I want you to find this sample and then just loop it.
Yeah. But he did Life's a Bitch, right? Is that the only thing he did on her?
He did It Ain't Hard to Tell. Yeah, but interesting story about that. I don't know if you've seen. I mean, let's get off of motherfucking represent. I don't even want to talk about that song no more. For
Well,
it ain't hard to tell. You say
we
what?
were on One Time for Your Mind. We didn't talk about represent. We don't
Oh,
have to.
no, my bad. Let's get off of One Time because I thought that song was terrible. Let's go to Represent because I actually
I did like
like
represent.
I like Represent. I fuck with Represent.
Yeah.
That was Primo as well.
Yeah.
That was within the chop. Like that was, in my opinion, that was the beginning of the chop. Not that song's particular, but that was like when songs were starting to be chopped up more. And honestly, I can't even tell you where that sample came from. It was that point because it felt like it was just strictly just a drum track. But but that was like what do you say, the school dropout, never liked the shit from day one. It was like, I was reading somewhere as well too. It was saying how his father urged him to drop out of school to pursue music because he saw how talented he was, and his father, was playing instruments or playing the trumpet on his album. But that's dope to see, like, when somebody can believe in you, because like I said, when we always talk about father figures and stuff, like, not always talk about father, but like with father figures, like how much of an influence they can have on you, whether it's a father, uncle, cousin, whatever, older cousin and stuff like that. Like having someone to say, well, I see the potential that you have, so go with it. So that's just dope to me to hear like little stories like that. Like your father was pushing you towards the music, and I mean, I was like, that nigga was like, when he started recording his album, he was 16 years old, which is crazy. Like 16 years old, nigga. Like, nigga. I mean, I was getting reduced lunch. I wasn't getting free lunch, but you know what I'm saying. Like, nigga, like.
I don't know what I was doing.
Nigga, I was nigga, we was in high school, 10th grade and shit. Nigga dipping motherfucking chocolate cookies and motherfucking milk and shit. Like, it wasn't like niggas was just like, I'm just saying, like, he was, if he started recording this album at that age, is what I'm saying. Like, he was so far more advanced than what we were at that age, and that can make you dope in itself, or it can screw you eventually. Like, you got Doogie Howser and shit, motherfucker grew up too motherfucking quick and shit, and ended up a doctor. I mean, it's dope to be a doctor early, but shit, like what do you lose, from your childhood and stuff like that, from being so advanced so early.
I only knew one person that was like had made a song like around that age. It wasn't that great either.
Was it Smooth with the Roughness?
No, I forgot about them.
You remember them?
I vaguely remember them, but no, it was somebody.
I remember seeing them. I don't want to say them hoes, but I remember seeing them at there's a Hikes party at the party in the park or something like that.
The party joint, yeah.
Yeah, like Mike dated one of them, and I still reference her as Smooth with the Roughness.
I forgot all about them.
Yep. Only reason I remember because of Mike, like literally,
right.
But yeah, because they had the song that countered ABC. Was it Aisha? Yeah, they had a song that they had a direct counter to Aisha. Yeah. But Smooth with the motherfucking Roughness, nigga. I don't know the chick name at all. I reference her to Smooth with the Roughness. Like when Mike talks about them, I'm like, oh, he talking about Smooth with the Roughness. I do not know her name at all. She has no name. Her name is Smooth with the Roughness. And I hate to say that, it's terrible.
It is, because she probably listens to this mad at you.
It's Smooth with a V.
Okay, man.
I remember that. SMOOV.
Was it the DA or THE?
Nigga. You know that shit was DA.
Yeah.
That's the only way. Like, you never say little, you say lil.
Wait. There's a. Oh no,
man, them niggas ain't in Google, nigga. That shit was 80s, 90s.
Hey, usually Google comes through with stuff though. Dog, like, but nah, they ain't coming up. They ain't
I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna ask Mike about that shit. Like, nigga, what's up with Smooth the roughness, motherfucking AI search?
coming.
It's like
Don't
that shit.
like tell them they need to get their stuff on Apple Music.
Yeah, nigga, them niggas is not. Them niggas gave up. No, they are part of the. No, it was some group. I can't remember the name, but they were supposed to be the next Jackson Five. Um, Dre sampled them for the DLC song "No One Can Do It Better," but that group was supposed to be the next Jackson Five at the time, but they never flourished or they never grew up. But literally, there's tons of stories about groups never getting to that level, of a
Hmm.
Jackson Five. I can remember the name. Like, is there like if you look at DLC sample? I mean, I got my phone right here, but if you look at DLC sample for "No One Could Do It Better," and that sample was a sample of a young group that was supposed to counter the Jackson Five.
Okay. Guess they didn't have a mic on their group.
Nah, they ain't had no mic, nigga.
Apparently
So,
not.
yeah. So represent. What's your sentiments on represent?
I like represent. I think we talking about a couple songs ago, talking about like a potential playlist, and like I could like represent would probably be like the last, like out of the four tracks, represent would be the last one. Like I would think of, but I don't think it's bad. Like it's one of those songs that like all right, I'm already listening to Illmatic. Hey, let me listen to represent. Like it'll be like you let the first few seconds of the song play sometimes when you're like still trying to remember an album when you're like you hear the beat drop, you like, oh no, I'm good, I'll skip it. Like I feel like this one, I'd hear the first few seconds and I'm like, oh yeah, this joint, and
Mm-hmm.
I let it rock out. Like um um so yeah, I mean it's cool. I do like it. In some ways it's like, man, you just got went through one time for your mind, then you come to this, and then it ain't hard to tell it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just like yeah, yeah. Like it
Yeah,
kind of gets
it,
lost
it
in that
was it was
shuffle.
nearing the end. Yeah, it was nearing the
Yeah,
end of the album. It's
yeah,
definitely like I said. I mean, when you not to say what is better than the other, but it's a great. I think it's a good song, but I tend to have my favorites on the album,
yeah.
and I don't necessarily go towards this one, but
Hmm.
it's not. I'll listen to it before I listen to halftime.
Yeah,
So, um,
yeah, definitely.
but
Like outside of the three that we talked about, like, I think that we kind of come to the agreement on probably our three favorite New York State of Mind, Life's a Bitch and Memory Lane. Like represent is probably like if you tell me what song you're gonna play after that, it's looking at it's gonna be represent. Like it'll
mm,
probably yeah, it'll be represent. Yeah, it'll be represent. Like I can't really like I'm thinking about the beat of "The World Is Yours," and it
mm-hmm.
might be like I hear the beat in my head, but like no, I probably just it'll be represent. Like so, it's because like I said, it comes towards a. I mean, like it's a short ass album, but like it comes near the end. Like
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I mean I like it though. I mean yeah, yeah.
Let me ask you this question because it was the first single and ironically the last song on the album. How do you feel about it? It ain't hard to tell.
I mean it. I think we were talking about this earlier. I think if you think about like this album wasn't necessarily like doesn't necessarily have any radio friendly joints on it
Mm-hmm.
necessarily. Like it ain't hard to tell. It's probably the closest, and it's that I know SWV split this too. That Human Nature. um,
Mm-hmm.
from Michael Jackson. It it's probably that, I think, along with the fact of what you had mentioned earlier, like the way that, like, man, like Rap City on TV raps just kind of forced this down our throats. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it was a dope song, but like, hey, they help remind you that it was a dope song every day. Um, it's cool. It,
I got something for you. I'll give you $5 if you could tell me that the Human Nature remix for SWV, when they sampled that, when they were like SWV, I give you $5 if you could tell me who was saying that.
um, Old Dirty Bastard. I don't know
No,
why I came up with that one.
no, it was not
I
Old
just
Dirty Bastard.
said what?
I said no, it was not Old Dirty Bastard.
I
It
think
was,
I'm only thinking of that because I don't know if it was that. There was an SWV song that the Wu Tang Clan
yeah,
did.
the remix to
That- That's
not I'm so into you.
okay, yeah, but no,
Yeah,
I have no idea who was it.
Pharrell.
Really?
Back then, yeah, I looked like I was reading through something or listening to something, and he had mentioned it. Like it was him that mentioned it, but because I think what's the dude's Teddy Riley. Teddy
Yeah,
Riley had something to do with the song. I can't remember if he produced it, and I don't want to misspeak
yeah,
on
yeah,
that. But him like that
yeah.
SWVS and that was Pharrell. And another another thing, I may not if I'm showing my education or not, but I never realized until that song that W was double in two U's. So it was like two U's together. Like I never realized that until they separated in saying it, that it's like double U, like it's a W.
Yeah.
I never
I,
realized that was a thing until I heard that song. I was like, two U's? What the fuck? Like, I never realized that until that song.
I didn't realize that until just 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, I was like,
Like,
what? Like, because double U,
yeah,
so
yeah,
it's like,
like,
dude, I never realized that was a thing until like that song, just because it
nah,
separated it in that song. I was like,
yeah,
damn, shit, that's crazy.
that
But
is like, yeah, like, oh, yeah, I guess double you, yeah, like,
yeah,
yeah, I
because I
never,
always said W. Like, I never said it like as like separate or anything like that. But
yeah,
it's like two
W,
U's together. Yeah, I
yeah,
was like, that's some fucking. But I never
U
realized it until that song. So
T U V W.
yeah,
They look more
yeah,
like V's though. Why is it double V? Well, I guess
yeah.
it depends how you write it though.
I mean, W, yeah, like you write it
Yeah,
like
yeah, you can write,
but
yeah, yeah,
never realized that shit. This shit's
yeah.
crazy. So
Fascinating.
yeah, right, nigga. The more you know, but nigga, listening to "Ain't It Hard to Tell." I always say that was a hard song, and I felt like it was force fed down my throat to listen to. But
Mm-hmm.
in hindsight, or hindsight 2020, going back and listening to that song probably had the most quotables on it. Um,
Okay.
like the mic is contact, I attract clientele,
Oh,
or
yeah.
Nas is like the Afrocentric Asian, half man, half amazing. Um, I kick a skill like Shaquille, vocabulary spills, I'm ill. Um, it had some of the most, I don't know if it's the most
Oh yeah.
sampled song as far as like, because I remember at one point in time, like it was everybody was sampling Nas. Like, what does he say? It's like that, it's like that. I got to him, then you never will get the mic back.
What is that? I know. I know it's been sampled.
Cause what's the name? Muhammad Diaz sampled it
Yeah.
for what's the name? Man? That's like my favorite Muhammad. Like, but it's
Yeah.
damn, is my favorite female song, like female rap song ever. but she just like I got a him methods to microphone mechanism to like the cutting heads precision. Damn, I can't think of that. What's the name of that shit? Um, but she was spitting like a motherfucker on that song. But anyway, I feel like that was probably like his most sampled lyrical song um within hip hop. But but yeah, I mean, going back, like I said, it wasn't a song that I initially gravitated to, but it was one of the songs that I ended up, you know, liking based off of listening to it over and over and over. If that makes sense.
No,
But
yeah. I mean, thinking about it, like looking at the lyrics, and I think about it, like if this would have been over like one of the primo beats, like in the band of like New York State of Mind or Memory Lane,
hmm
like the lyrics, just what he said, like would have probably sounded crazy over a primo. Just like the beat isn't, it's not trash, but it's not like it's okay. It's okay. I won't
hmm
say it's trash, but like it's okay.
LES wasn't that good.
Huh?
LES wasn't that good. I remember,
Yeah,
you know, when I realized LES wasn't that good as a producer. No, I mean, I ain't trying to. But when I
man.
realized LES
That,
wasn't that good as a producer was when I was listening to him on AZ's album. I was like, all right, you know, he just had the right nigga rap over his track
yeah.
on the Nas album. But you know, but did you realize? I didn't realize this was a thing. So if you listen to the verse, there's no cursing on it, and Nas,
I've heard that. Yeah.
yeah, Nas said that in order for him to use the track, that he couldn't curse on it.
Oh yeah, I can see Michael Jackson saying that.
Yeah.
That sounds familiar now. That there was no cursing on there. Like,
Mm.
I can see Michael Jackson putting that.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I mean, if
Out
you
there.
look at honestly, if you look at all the artists that sampled Mike, you know what I'm saying, they was all damn near on Sony, and then damn near
Oh
or
yeah.
Sony Columbia, and even when they were sampling Mike, like Mike was getting paid for it, so which is
Yeah.
crazy because you know he owned all his catalog and stuff like that. So, um, but
Mike.
yeah, man, Jacko, man. And I was watching this, and not, I mean, I don't want to deviate too far from Nas, but I was watching this or listening to this documentary or watching this documentary with Mike, and it was, you know, it was essentially saying that, you know, when he started, you know, going at Tommy Mottola as far as like slavery and stuff like that within the music industry, that's when all of that whole underage
Playing with
kids and
little
stuff started
boys.
popping up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was literally kind of like a smear campaign because he was smearing Tommy Mottola, you know, with all of the stuff within the music industry, plus with
Yeah.
Mariah Carey. But that's how it happens with us, man. You know, like I said, with Puffy and all that shit. But it is what it is. I like not to say I feel sorry for rich niggas. I don't, but you know, I mean, shit.
Yeah.
Cassie's just as responsible. It sounds like Cassie's just as responsible as Puff. So
That's
from
what
all the
I
shit
heard.
I'm hearing.
Hey, they was all running the cabal over there.
You know, this is funny as shit. Like it's just like, man. I mean, like I said, we talk about the Nas album, and I mean, but I'll allude to this is like, man, y'all gotta y'all gotta protect yourselves better, man. Y'all can't be doing like the shit that Puff is in for, and Shannon Sharp and all these niggas, it all comes around when y'all niggas about to, you know, get some real bread. Like, I mean, I'm gonna say real bread because y'all already got bread, but like some wealth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, y'all niggas gotta like be
Man,
more protective of y'all motherfucking shit. So,
I was listening to a podcast and one of the guys said he was like, man, like he was like, as like as your celebrity increases, he was like, your kinks have to go down. Like
yeah,
he's like, you gotta. as it starts to get elevated, you need to realize like you like you have to you gotta realize like there's more of a chance of this stuff to get out, so you need to like handle that with a lot more discretion or cut certain things out. And like, yeah, I feel them on that because yeah, like I said, you know me, I don't a lot of this stuff, the celebrity stuff, I don't really care about. But like the thing is though, is that like people do care about it. So like,
Nigga, I
if
had
we,
I had the internet scrubbed when I like nigga when I make my first 10,000, 20,000 from the internet, nigga. Like I said, I ain't got nothing crazy because I don't do no shit, but
yeah,
nigga, like, I mean,
you just never know.
somebody don't like the way that I treated them in the past.
Yeah,
And that's just what it is. So like nigga, you need to pay off everybody you gotta pay off, back then. And then
mm-hmm.
shit, you just gotta, like you just gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, ironically, man, the puffy shit, we ain't gotta go into it because I just want to stick to the Nas on. But man, ironically, man, like shit, I mean, that nigga paid her off and that bitch still testified. It's like I don't like it's just weird to me. Like you still don't know what can come about of it, but like you said, I mean, you just gotta figure out like what makes sense for your business, man, because because I saw something that was saying how, Shannon, like, because the thing is when you pay people off, people automatically assume that, you're guilty. And
Guilty, yeah,
honestly, the way I saw the shit from Shannon shit was that, nah, nigga, like I'm paying her to not fuck up the bigger bag.
right, yeah,
So like if it's $100 million, I eat the 10 million so I get the 90 rather than not getting no 90 at all. You know what I'm saying? So, it's the logic behind that. Like I don't think Shannon's, paying her off to or trying to or tried to pay her off to, just because he felt guilty. I was like, the nigga just paid off so that shit wouldn't fuck up the real money. Because
yeah,
90 million is better than 0 million.
yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just easier to when you think it'll be dismissed easily, like when you assume it'll be dismissed, it's easier just to pay it off and get it dismissed versus you have to go through the hassle of having to like deny or clarify accusations, say it wasn't this, and then hope that like and the public is, I mean the court of public opinion, man, is and we're a lot more judgmental about people like when the spotlight's not on us. Because if we all had a spotlight on our lives, it ain't too many of us that could like say that like our lives have been squeaky clean. But like, it's easy to set on that, set on that pedestal and or sit outside with your rocks thrown at the glass house when like we can sit here and judge them because ain't nobody coming for me, man. I ain't doing nothing that's gonna
yeah.
come for me. But like, I mean, that's like why I don't really have a opinion on these things because I like, man, like I'm what like I don't know how any of this stuff plays out. Like the post stuff, I don't know what he did. Like I'm not gonna be on the jury, so I don't care to pay attention to like what's really happening or whatever. But it's the or like Shannon Sharp, like and we're not even necessarily talking about anything criminal as far as I know. It's just people,
What a public opinion, bro.
yeah, and
That's it.
people
Like that's
supposedly
it. Like
more, yeah,
now, you think about it like this, man. Nobody. I mean, it's people, and I don't want to, be opinionated within this, but I mean, it's my opinion. But automatically, I want to say all because people always get you on all or none. Is that women, most women, or some women naturally gravitate to a woman being abused. So there's automatic sentiment in that.
mm-hmm.
On top of that, for men, it's almost the opposite. And like I said, right or wrong, but it's almost opposite where we're like, well, what did she do?
Right,
So, it's always that. But women's voice, most women's voice, like I said, I'm not going to say all or zero, but most women's voice is a lot louder, even if they're in the minority, than men. So if I say, as an example, and this is how I feel, but if I say something like, Puff is innocent. If I say that shit right now on social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, I would get destroyed. And I'm that's not being destroyed based off of truth or opinion, whatever. I'm getting destroyed based off of you don't know what that woman went through. And it's always tricky because it's like, well, not that I'm for or against Puff. Because I mean, like I said, I've only known Puff for giving us Biggie, or for
Right.
making music or for selling Ciroc, So I'm not automatically defending Puff because of he's a man or anything like that. I'm defending Puff. I'm saying that's an example. If I say Puff is innocent, I'm defending Puff because nothing has come out to say that he's guilty. Only thing that's come out is freak offs and um, the video of Cassie,
Right.
which has, you're talking sex trafficking, drugs, and all that stuff. It really doesn't have a bearance on him on him being a monster or however you describe it, right?
Right.
So, but I'm saying in that scenario, I'm automatically, if I say Puff is innocent, then I'm automatically like, not to say canceled because you can't be canceled if you're not famous. Like, niggas
Exactly.
could just niggas could block you, or
Right.
just say, hey, I don't fuck with his Facebook page, or like,
Right. Just
oh,
have
well,
a
I don't fuck with Jonathan Walker because Jonathan Dre says this crazy ass shit on
right.
motherfucking Facebook. Like, no, like he can say whatever the fuck he want to say. Like, that's his opinion, you know.
Right.
Um, but it's just interesting that because you got to walk these fine lines. Like I said, I can't tell you if Puff is guilty or innocent, but from the evidence in the video, you can say he beat her ass. You can say that shit, you know what I'm saying? But you can't say, well, he sex trafficked or he did this drug dealing. Like you have to still prove that in the court of law.
Right.
Like that video that went between him and Cassie has zero to do with him.
The charges against him.
Um, yeah, the charges against him. Yeah, and that's how they're pushing the narrative, and that's the part I'm like, don't separate what makes sense, for the shit, So I don't know. It's just interesting to see, like, and that's just what life is, man. Like people are going to make their opinions based off of what they see, Like it's just like saying, well, um, I don't know. Say for instance, I don't know. I beat people or something like that, or I beat women, and you're like, well, I got a video of you beating a woman, but but you're on trial for drugs, right?
Right.
It's like one has zero to do with the other.
Right.
Like here's drugs, but they're selling it like, okay, him beating Cassie is what triggered her to not to participate in these sex trafficking crimes.
Right.
So, and that's shit just weird to me. Like I said, I mean, like I said, we ain't gotta go full in depth. And like I said, we talking about the Nas shit, but um, it's just always weird to me to perception versus reality. And I'm big on reality. Like, what's the big picture? It's like, is Trump about to fuck us up? Like,
Right.
or are y'all cool? Like, it's just little shit like that. I was talking to somebody about that the other day, and I was telling them, I was like, yo, I don't fuck with Trump, but y'all have to realize what this nigga said he was gonna do, he did it. Or wait, like nigga, like I'm literally trying to figure out my student loans right now because that nigga's gonna start garnishing my motherfucking check and I can't afford it. You know, so like I need to get my shit together if I'm going to take classes, if I'm gonna get my shit forbeared and da da da. Like that nigga is coming.
Right.
Like I don't get like y'all can be like, oh well, he ain't gonna, then y'all get mad when the nigga come and garnish shit 25 or 50% of your check because you didn't forbear that shit or you didn't put that shit in place. Like, no, that nigga said he's coming. The nigga said he's going to get y'all niggas. Like, I am going to get whoever is not supposed to be in the United States out this bitch.
Yeah. I mean, he might not care if you're supposed to be here if he want to get you out. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Nah, I'm with you. Nah, I mean, it's a lot going on. I guess that's my thing with the celebrity stuff, man. Like, I just don't know why people like if you ain't on the jury, then like why you care? So like I think it's just like the people who just constantly have opinions about things, and it goes both ways. Whether you support them, or
identify with it, and they don't want to tell their story, but they want to be a part of the story. Like I said, I mean, this shit is for conversation. This shit, like I care less about Puff. I care less about Shannon Sharp. Like that shit has nothing to do with like that shit has zero. I mean, it's cool to talk about it, but it has zero to do with me and you having a conversation about Nas album or about motherfucking the podcast. Like it's just another conversation to have, but it's just meant to be in passing, and we move on. Like nigga, you be like, I don't give a shit about that. I'm like, all right, cool, fuck it, move to the next subject. Boom, we on the like it's just like it don't have to necessarily have to be a full like only reason like we talk about the hot topics and stuff like that, but it's like we could talk about it, but do we care about it? Nah, like I don't give a fuck. Like Shannon ain't gonna lose no sleep. Like like fucking. I mean, Puff losing sleep, but but because he's like I said, he's in the court, public opinion. But I tell people like it just really depends on how much people care about it in the public for it to make sense. Like if you look at Puff shit, Puff ain't no Puff said, hey, I mean, I'm saying this scenario, Puff was like, here's my passports. I'm not a flight risk. These niggas like, nah, we gonna hold you forever. I mean, we gonna hold you into the trial. Puff ain't got no priors. You know what I'm saying? Like, but some people like let some other people tell like he should be locked under the jail. He should be da 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 da. I don't care. I don't look. I got a nephew in prison right now. I don't want that nigga in prison. I don't want no nigga in prison. Like, and not to say that every nigga don't deserve to. I mean, like some niggas don't deserve to be in prison. It's some weird ass motherfuckers. Like, like we talk about Jay. Like Jay don't like, Jay don't deserve to be. I mean, not to say he don't deserve to be in prison, but like hearing about these other niggas, I'm like, nah, he, like he may have a little bit more of a case to say I shouldn't be in prison like other niggas. But it's like, but he did the crime. So that nigga that nigga should be in prison. You know what I'm saying? I don't want him in prison, but shit. If you be in a situation where like nigga, you could have plead to the motherfucking 8 years and your ass like fuck that shit and your ass is like took and said fuck it, I'm gonna ride with the and see if I got a chance, and now your ass got 30, 35 years, you got to eat that.
Yeah, you bet on yourself and you lost.
Yeah, like, nigga, like, nigga tell me I get 8 years, I wanted 7, I got to eat 8, I done did 3.5, 4, you know what I'm saying? I get out on good, motherfucking service and shit off for 4 years, nigga. But that's me thinking like how I think, and maybe because I'm not in the predicament that he's in, it makes it a little bit different. But there's other people that deserves to be thrown under the jail. There's people that deserve to be murdered, off of the shit that they did, But Puff in that scenario, not having any priors and all that shit, nigga, at least get bail. That's just from what law says. Like you have the right to be able to bond yourself out. but they did it because he was rich, because of course you say, hey, you buying yourself out of $100 million, Puff will find $100 million or $10 million, 10% to be able to get himself out.
Right. Yeah. 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 I mean, I hear you.
So
Uh,
cool, man. I don't want to hold you too much, man. Like, had a great conversation, man. Nas, Illmatic, one of the best albums that was ever produced for us. Whether you consider it a four album or a four mic album, or you consider it a five mic album or whatever, like classic status or superior status, etc. Like, it was one of the greater albums that we've been presented to in hip hop in general.
yeah.
What's your opinions on it?
So going through this little reha- rehashing of it. I mean, it's a cool album. I think if I were to if I were to look at the album outside of, like, I guess the impact that it had, like, which, I mean, I think it's used, but if I was just to go off of, like, how I feel about the album, like the quality and things like that, I'd probably give it 4 mics.
Yeah, same. I probably give four, maybe 4.5. Like I said, it's
Yeah,
certain song. Like, if anything within the production, I probably like it's certain production. Like I said, the LES stuff that, like I said, I love Life's a Bitch, but even it ain't hard to tell ain't that bad. But when I get to like one time and I get to halftime, that's two tracks out of nine that
yeah,
I wasn't really fucking with. Then you got World Is Yours and One Love that they go 50-50 depending on my feelings for it. But yeah, I'll probably run it like a four, maybe a 4.5, but that'd be
hmm
about it. So, but like I said, five, I'm not opposed to it, so
yeah. No, I understand why people love it. If this is the album that two people are gonna maybe overhype and everything like that, like, it's not bad. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's like the being overly, like, I guess overhyping it is like putting it in a, like, when I think of probably some of the best, like, for me, like, when I think of some of the albums that I consider classic, and I think we mentioned earlier, like, I don't know that I don't, and especially looking back at these tracks and everything, I don't know if it's, like, to me, it's not better than Doggy Style. It's not better than Only Built for Cuban Links. Like, it's, now I understand. Like, I think, like I said, some of the impact, like, I mean, I think you mentioned at the top of this, like, the concept of using multiple producers on your album. Like,
hmm
wasn't, if that was done before Nas, it wasn't maybe done to this degree of success or done at this, I guess, probably the highest profile. But, like, you didn't have, like you said, that, like, I mentioned Doggy Style, but that was
yeah, Doggy Style. I think Doggy Style got four mics, whatever, if I remember correctly.
so. I mean, it's it had its impact. I mean, Illmatic to this day, like, when you Illmatic sometimes is just treated as a, wow, like, it's just a term. I almost want to say like a noun at times or something. But you've seen people make plays on Illmatic and, like, album titles aside from Nas doing Stillmatic. I can't think of. I'm thinking about a. I know he's a West Coast rapper, but you hear people make constant references to Illmatic, like, um. So, I mean, I get the love for it and everything. I mean, like we said, I think if I were to choose, I'd probably go if it was written over Illmatic.
hmm
Um, but like I said, those, like, the three joints that, like, I think we both agree on, like New York State of Mind, Life's a Bitch, and Memory Lane. Like, those are dope as hell. Like,
hmm
so, I mean, yeah, it was a cool album. Like, it was, and I think lyrically, like, I think it was on point. Like, I think some of my hesitation with it is, like, the production is not just the production isn't, like, it's cool. Like I said, like, The World Is Yours, and One Love. Like, I'm the production. It's not horrible. Don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, like, if you were a '90s rapper at that time, like, those wouldn't have necessarily been bad beats for you to rap over. But, like, they're not, like,
They didn't stand out as much as the Primo track on the track or
Yeah,
anything within the Illmatic album. So
yeah. So it's like, I mean,
even like I gave you power. I mean, I gave you power.
yeah,
And not that I mean, I'm saying like tracks that stood out to me on It Was Written. I feel like they really stood out.
yeah.
So I don't
So
know.
it was cool though.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, with y'all. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a fucking comment. If you don't want to, fuck you. We go from there. And thank you all for listening. Appreciate it. And thank you all for listening to the Reality or Not podcast with the big homie Ed and DJ Reality. Talk to you soon.
Peace.
Peace.